we are going to end up this show with our favorite segment of all time, and I'm going to explain everything and how this works. Right now, Zay, could you explain it for me as I set up this whole?
Of course, of course.
Yeah,
So it is now a take for 99. Well, we give an expensive take for 99 cents. And what we do here, and it could be across any sport, anywhere, and something that you had in mind that you feel like should be displayed and talked about. And if Lil, if you don't mind, I would like to do the honors
Mike
here
Jones.
and displaying what it could be. So my take for 99 cents is that the Steelers will win 12 football games this year.
What?
The
Hey,
Pittsburgh Steelers will win 12 football games this year.
here we go.
They changed the quarterback, right? Completely changed the quarterback. This is the best quarterback they've had in quite some time now. You could complain about Russell Wilson. You could say anything you want to say about him. You could talk about how he can't throw, how he's not the man of his family, whatever you want to talk about him, right? Russell Wilson had a good year last year, and no one could take that away from him. He had a good year last year. They added Justin Fields, a guy that a lot of people will still believe has the talent to play quarterback in this league and has a phenomenal talent to advance our offense. Cool. They added a bunch of offensive linemen in this draft that will completely change what that offensive line has been looking like the past few years. It's been absolutely horrendous. The Steelers' defense is still going to be a phenomenal defense. Their defense every year is really good. It's the offense that holds them back. I believe the offensive line will stand packed and strong. I believe the addition of Roman Wilson will also impact their offense completely because now they have talent added to the receiving core. I think with the addition of the new quarterback, a brand new offensive line, and their new receivers, their entire offense will change completely for the better. I believe they'll be a middle of the pack offense, not bottom of the pack like they have been. I believe they'll be about 14th in offense, which is just enough to win football games. That's all they need because their defense is already top 10. So I believe they'll be a middle of the pack offense. Their defense will still be top 10, and they will win 12 football games this season. And that's my take for 99 cents.
Yo, Mike, I'm gonna just jump in here.
You got it.
Respectfully, if I went first and I already got rid of my take out the way, I would have went home after this. I mean, I am home. I just logged off after hearing that. It would have been over, but I didn't get my take yet, so I gotta stick around. Zay, I don't know why you had to put me through so much pain listening to that. It is it. I mean, I haven't we got used to and accustomed to mediocrity in Pittsburgh. Okay, like it's the same script, bro. The same simulation. They're gonna start off hot. They're gonna lose some games. Mike Tomlin gonna be asleep at the wheel, and then they realize a streak is at stake, which is the regular season streak of Mike Tomlin. They win a couple games at the end, barely squeak into the playoffs at best, do enough to finish over 500 at best, and they get bounced by the Buffalo Bills or the Chiefs because they had no talent to be on the field with them. No, I think Russell Wilson is cooked. Compared to his prime, years, I think he's cooked. Justin Fields is a guy that's probably not going to see the field, literally. I mean, I think he belongs on the field, but the way how the Steelers do business, they are hard-headed. They override Mitch Trubisky when they should have pulled Mitch Trubisky. He shouldn't even have started. Okay, when they drafted Kenny Pickett, and yet they waited till they lost a certain amount of games to keep a streak alive. To sub him out and put, Kenny Pickett in the game. I hate the way the Steelers do business in a modern NFL. They operate 1999 in 1999. It's not 1999 anymore. I like what they did drafting wise. Now I will give you that they bolstered their offensive line and they bolstered their quarterback room, but it's not like Russell Wilson is this guy of old where he was with Seattle when they made the championship runs they went on. Okay, no, I do not see them winning 12 games, not even close. They'd be lucky to win 10. And no, my name is not Ben. Okay, the mic is yours, Michael.
No, man, my take, I'm gonna take it away from football. I'm gonna take it to NBA playoffs. I think that it's been great, and I believe that we are looking truly at the next face of the NBA playing there in Minnesota. His name is Anthony Edwards. He is in the cloth of that Jordan, Kobe, Anthony Edwards. He's the next guy. I think that the league needs to start to back them, especially if they can do what me and Zay believe that they will do, which is knock off the Nuggets and get to the Western Conference Finals, where I believe that they will be the best team and better team than any team that they can face. And they get to the finals, anything can happen, especially if you have to play the Celtics, where those guys come up short from time to time. I believe that Anthony Edwards is the next face of the NBA, that if you want to go get his shoes, which are really nice, go start getting his shoes, start showing this guy some love, watching him play, because he is the next face of the NBA. Because it can't be Victor, it can't be Shea, it can't be Luka, because these guys are non-American players. The NBA is smarter than that. So they need that next American guy. It was going to be Ja, but then he got a little trigger happy. So it's going to be Anthony Edwards. He's that guy. And if I could take it away from sports, I would say that Kendrick Lamar is going to cook Drake the rest of his way, because that's what K-Dot does.
That's that California fever. I'm sorry, Chris Brown done tore all y'all cats up. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully. I don't want to hear from the Migos again, with all due respect. Zay, I'll leave it with you, because we talked about Anthony Edwards. We kind of like shared the same sentiment, in our earlier laps on the show, of him being that dude. So if you want to respond, by all means. If not, I'll take it away.
Yeah, I said, like, there's only 2 guys that have the capacity of being a stone cold killer on the court, but also being relatable to the crowd. Fan bases all across the NBA cheering for them and wanting to see them successful, and that was Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey. Those are 2 guys that fans love, no matter who you are. Even as a Knicks fan, I show a lot of love and praise for Tyrese Maxey. Anthony Edwards, he gets a lot of love and praise as well, because his tenacity and aggressiveness, not only on the court but off the court, with his trash talk, his a playful banter and humor and stuff like that with the media and every other fan base. That's what makes the face of the league. People just think it's just what you do on the court. It's also what is going on off the court, and who you are off the court, and how you show your competitiveness on both sides. So I think, Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey are amongst the best. But unfortunately, as people are soon going to find out, that the NBA is no longer an American sport. This is an international sport. We're in international waters. All the best players are international. We talk about Luka Doncic, Jokic, Giannis. Wemby's coming up. It's all international. So I'm glad that Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey are 2 guys that are going to be Americans and going to be kind of the forefront of American basketball moving forward. Because if not, all these international dudes just come over and take the MVPs, take the NBA championships. And it's gonna look bad. It's gonna be an NBA All-Star, but it's gonna be USA versus international team, because the international team has all the damn stars. So I'm glad guys like Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Maxey are stepping up to the plate and looking really good.
Don't forget about Ja. I know that Ja, had his issues, and
he can't be the face no more. It's unfortunately,
he's
a great talent, but them gun charges is sticking forever.
He's not going to ever be. I don't think he's ever going to be the face, but he can be like an AI figure, to where everybody, he was a cult hero. Like, everybody looked at him up there with the Kobe's and T-Max and Shaqs and stuff at that time. And I think that Ja is going to fit that, because a lot of these kids are like, I can be more like Ja than anybody else, because he's a skinny guy, like 6'3", and maybe I can be something like that. So I think that with Ja, with Anthony Edwards, that we're going to have those 2 figures. But it just shows you, when it comes to American basketball, it has to be fixed at every level. High school, that AAU mess that goes on has to be fixed. Even with college, that's why I would prefer the college athletes stay for 2 years, so that they can really grow their games and be ready to go. Because more than ever, these guys are coming to the league and they're clearly not good enough anymore. Like I tell people all the time, the best era of basketball, I believe, was the 2000s. What you saw in the league, what you saw in college, high school, all of that, the players who were coming in were great players. But now AAU has ruined the game and the NBA regular season with all of these travels and carry and all of the non-defense they get away with. That's what's being taught. That's what they see, compared to in Europe. You're seeing real basketball, and that's why these guys are coming over and like, yo, it's much easier here because I can do whatever I want. So the American basketball has to figure it out, and if not, like Zay said, it is going to belong to the foreigners. But hopefully guys like Anthony Edwards, Ja, when he's back, can help kind of change that narrative.
Absolutely. A lot riding on the series, because that could be that stepping stone for Anthony Edwards to take that crown. I'm going to move back into the NFL here, and I got a passionate take here that I'm going to go with right here, right? The Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr. confirms that the NFL colluded against Lamar Jackson. I repeat, the Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr. confirms that the NFL was colluding against Lamar Jackson. Leel, correlation, like, how does that connect? Glad that you asked, right? I'm going to break it down right now, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure everybody was surprised when the Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr. I was too. Couldn't believe it. Was shocked, right? And I think a lot of people, when it comes to Lamar Jackson and when he was a free agent, basically all 32 teams could have, negotiated with Lamar Jackson. Nobody did. And a lot of people in this world, and I realized this in life, philosophical mode here, that we just don't want to believe that there are people in power that are bad people or do bad things at times when they're desperate, right? And that's society things, right? We think the cop is the hero, and most cops are, but there's some bad cops, right? Just because you wear a suit and tie and you fly doesn't mean you're a good guy, okay? And I do believe that the NFL colluded against Lamar Jackson. Now, how does that tie in to Michael Penix? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to get to it right now, because when Arthur Blank was asked about why he had no interest in Lamar Jackson, this is what he said. Looking at it objectively, I say there's some concern over how long can he play, his style of game. Hopefully a long time, but he's missed 5, 6 each of the last 2 years. Each game counts a lot in our business. Oh, really? So, translation, Arthur Blank, let me get this straight. Injury concerns was the main issue in why you did not trade for Lamar Jackson. Got you. Okay, but you signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million deal coming off an Achilles injury. Okay? Literally. And then on top of that, with the number 8 pick, you drafted Michael Penix Jr., who has a rap sheet of injury histories, 2 torn ACLs in college. But yet it was the injury history that prevented you from trading for a former MVP who became a 2-time MVP. Got it. Okay, and look, this is no shot at Michael Penix. I think he has intangibles to play in today's game, right? He has the accuracy, he has a touch on the deep ball and all that. This is not anti-Michael Penix. This is anti-Blank, okay? Because his mind is blank, the way how he thinks, okay? When you talk about draft compensation, that's another thing that I heard. Oh, we don't want to give it to 2 first-rounders. It's important, really. But you invested an 8 overall pick on a backup quarterback who's not going to touch the field in about 4 to 5 years. So you mean to tell me Pitts was a problem? The same team that drafted Kyle Pitts in the top 10, all right, as a tight end who barely used that guy. You telling me Pitts are a problem? No, the Falcons, you're going to feel it. And I want you to feel it, okay? Anytime Roma Doomsday make a play, because you could have got that guy with the 8 pick overall, you're going to feel it. Anytime Lamar Jackson continues to win ball games, and hopefully, I wish this happens, win a Super Bowl, you're going to feel it, okay? Anytime the Tutu, whatever his name is, that got drafted by the Colts, okay, make a play defensively, you're going to feel it. Okay, because guess what? The person you draft is not even going to be on the field. He's going to be no value to you for the next 4 years. Okay, so yes, in closing, my take for 99 is that the Falcons drafting Michael Penix Jr., all right, confirms that they colluded against Lamar Jackson and the owners colluded against Lamar Jackson, just like they did with Colin Kaepernick.
Now, you know damn well they wasn't going to let Lamar Jackson play for Atlanta. You know that. You know, we all knew that. We all knew they wasn't going to let him play for Atlanta. You know that, and they said it. They said it once if they what was it? Because he had like a weird it was a weird contract that if a team wanted to sign him, you had to give him 2 first-round picks, right? It was something like that, and everyone was like, no. Why would Lamar Jackson only go for 2 first-round picks? Because that was a clause. If he was to get signed and traded, he had to give up 2 first-round picks. Now, before, the whole notion was that Lamar Jackson couldn't throw the football, so why would I give up 2 first-round picks for a quarterback that can't throw the football? That was the whole notion with him. Right, and that's why teams didn't want to trade up, and that's why teams didn't want to trade for him, go after him, X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. And that was why the Baltimore Ravens tried to stall on the money they was going to give him, even though he was worth every single dollar that they were supposed to give him.
They didn't want the Deshaun Watson contract to be a norm. That $230 million fully guaranteed contract, that's what it came down to. That's the reason why, I don't know why I didn't bring it up in my lap. That's the reason why they colluded against Lamar Jackson, because they didn't want that contract that Deshaun Watson got to be the norm. And that's what happened.
And I kind of wish that Arthur Blank would have used something other than the injury history, because I still thought that didn't make sense. But I just think that he should have came out and said, yeah, I don't think that we can build the team around Lamar Jackson at his peak of peak to go and make a type of deal where we lose 2 first-round picks for them, because clearly to win with Lamar Jackson, you have to build your team a certain way. And whether you believe he's a great passer or not, which I don't think he's a great passer, I think he's solid. And he was really exposed in the AFC Championship when instead of running, he was just sitting back and wanting to prove people wrong by passing, and it led to only 10 points and losing at home to the Chiefs.
That was also play calling too, but it's a combination of both. He didn't make good throws in that game for sure.
Yeah, combination of both. But I think that was the better reasoning for why Atlanta didn't make this move, because they're like, we don't got a Jim Harbaugh, we don't have a defense that's ready made. That that we don't have this type of team that can be an instant contender with a Lamar, where if we build another way, maybe we can get there much sooner and then possibly have a quarterback that can help us win. Because believe me, when I was at the draft in Detroit and we were going crazy in the media room, like, wow, they really took Michael Penix. But I think some of the thought of it is that we don't know how healthy Kirk Cousins is. And say if Kirk can only give you a year or 2 healthy years, now you have your Jordan Love guy that you can go to next in Michael Penix, who's a big physical body that in college, looking at him on the West Coast playing in the Pac-12, I'm like, yo, he's a bigger, more physical Tua Tagovailoa, and who knows if that can win you a Super Bowl or anything. But right now in that division, to me, they have the 2 best quarterbacks, Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins, and that if one of them can find a way with Bijan, with Kyle Pitts, with Drake London, that they can be a team that can win that division, it makes sense. But I don't think that – I think some of it was they were like, hey, Lamar has no agent. There's no way we can have him do what he's trying to do. But I think a lot of it was that the Falcons didn't believe that they can win with Lamar Jackson, because it was going to take some time to build the exact type of team he actually wins games with.
Real quick, I just want to say something real quick in terms of – matter of fact, continue your point. Now I'm going to bring up something about the Penix.
Yeah, the agent thing got overblown. He doesn't have an agent. He doesn't have an agent. He didn't really need an agent to even get the deal he got with the Ravens. The quarterback market was his agent. He saw what Jalen Hurts got and was like, I just want more than Jalen Hurts. That became the sticking point. So I never really, at one point I did bought into the agent thing, but then it became evident that you follow the quarterback market. Okay, just give me a little bit more than that guy. I could do that. Okay, and get paid and be a agent. But I just think, because he said it, injury history, that was a cop out. Yeah. And mind you, that's one of 31 other teams, right? Obviously not every team needed Lamar Jackson, but there was a majority of teams that didn't trade for Lamar Jackson either. Why not? Because the owners got together at the dinner table, at the meetings, and said, you know what? The contract that Deshaun Watson got, no, don't do that again. And it hasn't been a contract that has surpassed him in the fully guaranteed aspect of the deal. So it's clear. It's there. Nobody has gotten more fully guaranteed than Deshaun Watson.
But with that, I do think that they looked at it, because we're not talking about Lamar coming off of an MVP year, which, to be honest, I wouldn't have voted him for MVP. I believe that he played on the best team, but I didn't think that he had to do as much because of the surrounding parts. Everything went so well, where a guy maybe like Josh Allen or Tyreek Hill, did what they did. But I think that coming off at that time, guys are looking like, man, Lamar, he hasn't really won. Like, yeah, he has that one MVP, but can he really beat Mahomes? Can he beat Joe Burrow? Can he beat Josh Allen? And he hasn't really proven that to us still. So I think that kind of went into it as well. And the Jalen Hurts was a situation that was similar. Jalen Hurts just came off the best year of his career, which I think that will be That's the peak of Jalen Hurts. We won't see anything higher from Jalen Hurts. That's what he is as a runner and passer, because these guys just aren't great pocket passers and quarterbacks like Allen, Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and things like that. Like, they just aren't those guys, and the NFL see that, and they understand that you have to build a certain type of team around them. That's why I just don't get why in the NFL that a team, it's going to take a team to have to stand up to a quarterback and say, yo, we want to sign you, but damn it, you're not these top 5 or top 3 guys, so we're not going to pay you the market price, and letting the guy walk and have him go and suck on another team that falls for it, because you're throwing out all this money. Like, even the money to Kirk Cousins is like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, I mean,
real quick,
he only won 1 playoff game. Like, Lamar Jackson won 2 MVPs. He won a couple playoff games. You know, like, 2 MVPs, bro. Like, yeah, he deserves to get paid. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football. Now, does it translate, come January? That's where, it gets tricky. But as far as elevating your franchise, getting you out of football purgatory, giving you stability at the position where you don't have to invest a 8 overall pick in a back quarterback who's not going to touch the field anytime soon. Kirk Cousins is fine. He's going to be healthy. Okay, I just don't agree with that.
The crazy thing is that Arthur Blank says he doesn't want to go after injury-riddled quarterback. He just signed a quarterback with a torn Achilles.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
and
wild.
The backup quarterback had 2 torn ACLs in college, and that's
also,
what they.
It's crazy because they drafted a quarterback, and then I just saw Kirk Cousins' contract. He's only guaranteed for the first 2 years. So I'm assuming year 3 is Michael Penix Jr. It better be, because how the hell you gonna let him sit for 4 damn years? He's already 24. He's gonna be a rookie at 29. He's gonna be a first-year player at 29.
The age factor on top of that, like, it's so many. Like, that pick was just horrible to me, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, we're going to close out this show right now. It was a good show, and I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to these games. I'm looking forward to my Knicks to close out this series against the 76ers. Don't play with your food, my brother. Don't play with your food. Michael, before we leave here, plug yourself in, my guy.
Hey, what's up, man? Mykellthepg here in LA. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Mykellthepg, Mykellthepg, covering, all sports in LA, man. Big sports guy, doing my thing out here, man.
Folks, make sure you tap in to Michael, and make sure you like and subscribe. Fellas, we out. Peace out.